Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, I am Anava Syahdila Rachma, the students of Grade 4B English Education Department UIN Jakarta, batch 2019, and I'm doing this retelling video or the assignments of extensive reading class. And in this occasion, I would love to retell the story about the novel that I've read. It is a novel by Sharon Creech with the title Absolutely Normal Chaos. So this novel is a lightweight story novel. It has Mary Lou Finney as the main character of this novel. She is a junior high school student who was assigned by her teacher to write a journal during her summer holiday about her daily life. So it's going to be a daily journal for her. Firstly, she didn't know how to write a journal, but then she wrote her normal life for her beginning of the journal until one day her father, Sam Finney, announced that their cousin Carl Ray will sleep in their house for about uh, undefined moment for some days until he finds a job. So Carl Ray's gonna be staying in the Finney's house to find a job until one day Carl Ray came and everything turned so chaotic. Carl Ray was beyond their expectation. Carl Ray was super annoying. Carl Ray was weird. Carl Ray was awkward until Mary Lou find out that it has been some days after Carl Ray arrives in their home and he didn't find a job yet. Until one day, Carl Ray finally found a job for himself. He works in Mr. Ford's hardware store. Mr. Ford's is the V's neighbor. So Carl Ray's worked in there for about 2 weeks, and during that period of time, every day of Mary Lou turned so chaotic to her because of the annoying Carl Ray. And then after 2 weeks, Carl Ray working in Mr. Ford's hardware store, Mr. Ford died because of the heart attack while swimming. And Carl Ray was super sad. In his funeral, everyone was sad, but Carl Ray shows a little bit different emotion. He cried so hard for Mr. Ford's dead body. Maybe because he was just feeling condolences for Mr. Ford. Everyone was a bit confused, but then they just let it go. And after that, after 2 weeks after the death of Mr. Furt, Sam Finney, the father of Mary Lou Finney, got a call from one businessman in town. He called him and asked him with Carl Ray to come to his office. And after that, they both came back and brought a very shocking news that Carl Ray was given $5,000 from that businessman because from someone, and also the rest of the money for the college was being saved. Everyone was super shocked. $5,000 is not a little amount of money, and but the businessman didn't say anything about the sender. And after that, Carl Ray bought a car. He bought a car and he planned to drive to his hometown in Virginia to meet his family. All right, so Carl Ray's mother is Aunt Radine, aunt of Mary Lou, and also Carl Joe is the uncle of Mary Lou, who is the father of Carl Ray. And then Carl Ray drove to Virginia, but he was not alone. He was being accompanied by Mary Lou Finney because he was scared of driving alone. And because of that reason, Mary Lou accompanied Carl Ray to come back to his hometown to stay in there for some days. And when Mary Lou arrived in Aunt Radine's house or Carl Ray's hometown, Mary Lou realized that Carl Ray talked with all his sister and brothers and also her mother like happily, but not with his father, who is Uncle Carl Joe. The interaction between Carl Ray and Uncle Carl Joe sounds and seems a bit weird because they didn't talk at all, and the eye contact was so sharp between both of them. So Mary Lou felt like there is something wrong between both of them. And in the moment, in the period of staying in Carl Ray's house, Mary Lo got a lesson. She was so sad of staying in there because she felt like the sister and brothers of Kaori, which is her cousins, her own cousins, didn't feel happy about her staying in their home. She heard that they were talking about her at the back, and that's why Mary Lo cried. And she heard that the sister and brother of Carl Ray told that they don't like Mary Lowe because she was a crybaby. She didn't do the household. She didn't help anything, and so on and so forth. And in that very moment, um, Mary Lowe just realized that it's bad for her to hate Carl Ray in the beginning of staying in her own house. She also did the same to Carly. She thought that Carly was annoying. She thought that Carly was that weird. She didn't want Carly to be in her house. And then she was thinking, how would Carly feel? How did actually Carly feel about her reaction, about her response to him? So she learned that she couldn't be judging people too fast. She just didn't know what happened with that people. And in that very moment, she got a new learning. And after that, Carly and Marilou went back to Marilou's house. And in the way home, on the way home, Calray told Marilou a very shocking news. Calray told everything about the relation, about the problem between him and his father, uh, Uncle Carl Joe. She told Marilou that Uncle Carl Joe is not was not his biological father. He told Mary Lo that Mr. Fritz was his biological father. He revealed the real reason he came to Mary Lo's house is because Aunt Radines told him so. Aunt Radines told that Carl Joe is not his father. He got his biological father lived near Mary Lo's house. So Carl Ray slept over in Mary Lo's house. He stayed in there for a while, not to find a job, but to find his biological father. That's the plot of the story. That's like the twist of the story. And Mary Lou was super duper shocked. She was surprised, but she didn't want to dig more about it until Kyle really told her the story himself. And Mary Lou decided to just wait for that moment to come true until Kyle Ray have a braveness in his heart to tell it to anyone else. And when they come back to Mary Lou's house, um, one day Mrs. Fritz, the wife of Mr. Fritz, came to Mary Lou's house, and then she was crying hard because she got a ring, but who was Kari gave her a ring, and the ring was written the initial of the Fritz family. And then Kari told Mrs. Fritz about the whole of the story. She told Mrs. Fritz that Mr. Fritz gave him the ring when he was working in Mr. Fritz hardware store. Mr. Fritz was being honest to Calray about the ring. About he admit that Calray is his biological son. So there was actually a meeting between Calray and Mr. Fritz. Okay, so Calray did meet his own father before he died. That's why he cried so hard in the funeral of Mr. Fritz. And also, it was really a sad moment when Mrs. Fritz realized that, oh, he got a son who is Kare. Kare is actually her son as well. And Kare told everyone the whole story of his life, that he admitted that he actually came to the town to find his biological father, and also he actually met him, and he was so sad that the Uncle Carl Joe was trying to hide that fact because he was being so jealous with Mr. Furt as his biological father. He wants to be close with Carl Ray, but he failed. And after that, some days after that, Carl Ray's got a car accident, and everyone was so shocked. They come to the hospital and they meet Carl Ray, and in that very moment, Carl Ray gives like a conclusion of his story, and then everyone knew the truth. Everyone knew the how the story actually went, and yeah, it was happy ending. They spent time together. Carl Ray stayed with his family in Virginia with her mom, Aunt Radine, and also his stepfather, Uncle Carl Joe. And he kept on visiting Mrs. Bird in some times. So that's the end of the story. And the moral lesson that I got is that we shouldn't be judging people too fast, as how Mary Lowe got learnings. Thank you. That's my presentations. I hope this story retelling of the novel will inspire you to get new insights about the books that I read. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.